God governs the world through laws. Nobody will ever tell you what you should do. There's no one to negotiate with, no one to have a drink with. It's a test. Destiny checks how truly motivated you are. The illusion arises that you have only one option left. These reflections still concern people today. Today, we'll talk about laws, the laws of this world. It's natural for humans to try to systematize, find some logic, rules, or fundamentals to understand how the world works. Understanding how the world works and what place I occupy in it is called worldview. Once humans learned to think, they tried to understand what to expect from the world, why certain things happened. These reflections first led to religions and philosophy. Later, from this philosophy emerged well-established fields of thinking called sciences. To understand how sciences develop, you should read Popper. To grasp how people's worldviews formed, you need to read Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle. Simultaneously, you should read Eastern thinkers like Sufi mystics. These reflections still concern people today. There have been many attempts to systematize views on how to understand this world. One example is Murphy's laws. The more you fear something, the more likely it is to happen. Indeed, energy follows where we direct our thoughts. If we constantly think about something, we increase the likelihood that it will happen. This is especially true for people who wish harm upon others. That's what happens to them. People who are kind, grateful to the world, who want to give to others, and wish well to others, are fortunate. What they project onto others happens to them. Another example is Kildare's law. If you can clearly describe a problem, you're already on the path to solving it. Indeed, in NLP, you can spend your whole life saying you can't do something, but to solve the problem, you only need to identify what's preventing you. When you clearly see what's blocking you, you're already on the way to resolving it. I have a story. I lived in a dorm room with a small child, where I could open and close two windows simultaneously. When I needed to write my first dissertation on serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine in the brain, for the first 5 years, I was struggling. I suddenly realized I couldn't write the dissertation physically. There was no place to sit and write it. I needed to lay out 10 sources, articles, books, and my research. I had no such space. I was hypnotizing myself about the dissertation. When I saw that many of my classmates had defended their dissertations and I hadn't even started, I realized I already had a desk. I had been hypnotizing myself for years that I had a desk. I wrote it in 2 weeks. Another law is Gilbert's law. The biggest problem at work is that nobody will ever tell you what to do. Responsibility for what you do is called proactivity. It means you come up with what to do. When someone asks me, what is proactivity? It first appeared in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I jokingly answer, if you send a fool for vodka, he'll only buy 1 bottle. The truth is that a person who sets a task will only complete that task. However, while working on the task, they might realize they need to do something else or more. This is called proactivity. We have a technique called reprogramming. We reprogram subconscious codes. Many come for reprogramming because they hit a ceiling in their development. They need to change quickly. For example, someone who was always second is now promoted to first and doesn't know what to do because they were waiting for someone to tell them what to do. Now everyone is looking at them and waiting for them to direct things, and they're waiting for guidance from somewhere else. Or people who used to work in the public sector as bureaucrats and are now appointed to lead a commercial organization. They need to think differently. Previously, their performance was judged by one person, a boss somewhere in the ministry or the president. Now their performance is judged by the market. You can't negotiate with millions of customers. They will buy your product if it benefits them or not. They will be interested in your company or not. You can only achieve this through quality and staying ahead of the market. Another law is Olson's law. If you focus on intelligence, information, and tools, when running through a forest or a field, you shouldn't look at your feet. You should look at where you're going. Statistics show that drivers who look at the destination during emergencies are more likely to avoid accidents. In my work with coaching, psychotherapy, and consulting referred to as clients in consulting, people come to heal wounds and correct mistakes that are consequences of their own thinking errors. They have an incorrect understanding of how the world is organized, which leads to imbalanced states and violations of these laws. About 50 years ago, the idea arose to compile laws that a person should know to adequately respond to the world and not expect from it what it does not intend to give. Over 300,000 people from around the world sent their views on how the world works, laws they live by. Many included Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, and Jewish values, as well as everyday laws. Students even included rules about Piglet and his feet. For 3 years, we discussed these laws and their formulations. We then asked people to choose laws from the list that everyone on Earth should know, regardless of religion, age, profession, or language. After this experiment, 54 laws emerged. The results came from hundreds of thousands of votes: 100, 150, 200, 250. Some laws were chosen by all 300,000 people. It turned out that these laws exist in all religions. The book Kolak is based on 1,449 religious sources, and later it was found that these laws also appeared in scientific contexts. I went to the Academy City, visited institutes, and showed these laws to scientists. They found parallels in their sciences. It turned out that all religions and sciences rely on certain principles. Indeed, it was a mistake for religions in the Middle Ages to fight against sciences. Sciences discovered the laws of God. That's why genius Isaac Newton once said, "The laws of mechanics are derived from the laws of God." There's a second interpretation of this phrase: God governs the world through laws. God created laws, and these laws work automatically. They punish if we act against them and reward when we follow them. Among these 50 laws, there are no main ones. They are all important in different situations, but I will now comment on some of them. The first law is often attributed to Sigmund Freud. I haven't found this phrase in Freud's books, but there are rumors he once said it. Freedom is the ability to want what you really want. Indeed, if a person feels through contact with their subconscious, which knows all our needs, and if the subconscious and consciousness are in agreement, then consciousness will realize its own needs. The subconscious provides memory, attention, interest, talents, and abilities, leading to a long, happy, and fulfilling life. The subconscious also provides health for living a long, happy life because you're moving towards your goal, fulfilling your values, and achieving your needs. The second law: if you don't manage your goals, someone else manages them for you. Notice, not nobody, but someone else. The third law follows from the second. Money often pays for abandoning your own goals. You might say, hold on, I finished college. I need to live and earn. If I focus on my goals, who will pay me for that? Well, first of all, there's a business law. To earn money, you need to find a need in a large number of people and meet it. Money is just an indicator that what you're doing is needed by others. But money is not the purpose or goal. It's simply an indicator. Therefore, companies may have financial goals such as turnover, profit, or profitability. But these are not the end result. Imagine what the company's goals will bring to you, your family, and your world when they are achieved, and then everything will work out. You might say, what about me? I need to earn money somewhere. I'm still figuring out what I can do. I'm just starting out. Set a goal anyway. Those who pay you money, if you dream of moving or living in New Zealand, it's perfectly fine to start as a conductor on the railroad and get to Vladivostok. You earn money, learn, and make connections. But you're still moving toward where you need to go. From there, you might find a job as a sailor on a ship to Australia, continuing to earn money, learn, and connect, but still heading where you need to go. Only a set goal allows you to prioritize correctly, assess what's needed, and what's not. Only you can do this, but it's only possible when you understand what you need. The next law: you cannot take more from this world than you give to it. This is a law of conservation, a balance of inputs and outputs. Just as in economics, balance is required in the world. If you try to get more from the world than you give to it, it will end badly. The world will take from you, but through some other channel. You might gain money but lose friendships, sincerity, love, health, or safety. There are many examples. Before becoming wealthy, read the memoirs of those who gained wealth not by inheritance but through their own efforts. They all write about a time when they had no shoes and had to sell their only pair to afford food. This is a test. Fate tests how truly motivated you are. Exams are needed to filter those who are either incapable of learning or insufficiently motivated to learn. The one who has burning eyes to pursue their goal will have the memory, interest, and motivation to study. They will invest time, prioritize, and learn instead of engaging in distractions like computer games. This motivation will help. The main problem is the limitation of options. There are several types of communication. There's developmental communication, which increases the number of degrees of freedom and options. When you approach someone thinking you have 3 possibilities and leave with 5, that person has helped you. There's manipulative communication, which reduces the number of options. The worst manipulation is advice. It creates the illusion that you only have one option. You can consult someone who knows more about a specific subject, for example, a cardiologist on preventing a heart attack or a lawyer on organizing your activity or drafting a contract. But when it comes to your life, you cannot ask for advice because no one knows it like you do. No matter how much you talk about your life, you only reveal a tiny fraction, and even then, it may be misunderstood. Therefore, special techniques exist to hear what you truly want and seek advice. 50 years ago, John Grinder, my teacher, studied the thinking of Nobel laureates and identified 3 traits. One is that all Nobel laureates had difficult childhoods. There isn't a single Nobel laureate with an idyllic childhood. The spring was compressed in childhood, and it unfolds throughout life. The second trait involves society. 50 years have passed, and we have greatly improved on this. It helps a person become their own advisor, coach, and mentor. In the book Karma Coach, the 3rd volume of the Carrick Project, we offer techniques for personal transformation, growth, and increasing effectiveness. You're with us. Let's continue exploring how life is structured, our place in the world, and how we can develop. See you next time.